This is going to be episode 0, I think, like a prequel. I sort of should have done this probably, obviously, at the beginning, without doing the first 2 episodes. This is me. This is my hi-fi and my 88's set up. Excuse the right one is on a bit of a funny angle. I'm trying to experiment with places in rooms. They may not end up there because, well, the right-hand one's in the middle of the kind of walkway. The angles that I'm having to do is get the better sound at the moment to my position right now. But essentially, they got no wall behind them. So, yeah, it's not optimum. But I think hopefully from the 2 recordings that I've got here, you might agree that if I get them optimum, my Lord, what are they going to be like? But basically, yeah, I've done a couple of other videos some months ago, which I didn't do them to get a load of views, but equally, I look back on them and they were very... basically, I'm introducing a load of components and parts that I bought from a guy in France. And I've got all of the cabinet. I've got everything, absolutely everything apart from the cabinets. And I had them for years. I do go into this in my next videos, but I can't just hit you with a sound check video really without having a quick intro. So after looking for many years, in January 25, I find a pair in Essex and go and buy them. And I've been looking most of my adult life for these. And in fact, most of my adult life, I never knew they were even around. I thought the 66 was the one, or then a 662, which I've owned a pair of those. And eventually get to the Unicorn, the 88, which is, again, hardly anyone's heard of this. There seems to be hardly any documentation about it. There's a very good French expose, 2 or 3 pages. They go lab tests and whatnot, and immense bass, I think I translated from their writing. And admittedly, I hadn't really played with these properly until the last couple of weeks, and I bought them literally January 25. Work I got involved, and then for you, I hadn't had a lot of time to do anything about having a listen or moving them around. Amplifiers, I have another one actually coming. I've bought one secondhand off eBay, a big one, believing they need a bit more power, to be honest with you. I think the big power amp at the bottom there is a Yamaha M5000. I do actually go into it and have a shot. A5000. That's 11 channels. I think it's 110 watts each channel for 11. And the preamp is again, a 5,000 range. And funny enough, I didn't buy it at full price, but that was £5,000, the 2 of those. English pounds, obviously. I got it secondhand some years after its release. The blue button is just pure, so no electronics are taking place, and no DSP, no nothing. It's just going straight through the volume knob to the power amp to just the pair. I've got more than 2 speakers set up in here. There's 2 behind me as well, but this is not running at the moment for these shows. As I said, I've got a big, powerful PA stroke amp coming. I'm taking a gamble on because of the power. In the PDF for the 88s, I think they're talking about a recommended amplifier up to 160 watts. In my book, you ain't got enough guts, and to get something more professional with some bigger capacitors in it, would be good. But I think you're going to appreciate maybe the Yamaha doing very well here. And don't get me wrong, this Yamaha playing even 5.1 is extreme. I've never had it anywhere near. So the decibel volume knobs, I'm not a great fan of them, i.e. the number starts high and then goes down to 0. But on this Yamaha, 0 is not full whack. You can actually adjust full whack up to plus 16.5 decibels. So what we're going to hear in a minute, I think, at least with the atmospheric drum and bass track, the second one you're going to hear. I think I've got this at minus 15 decibels, so you've clearly got another 31.5 effectively to go until that would be full scale. And I expect that that's when the amplifier, the bottom one, is paired to the top one, would be at full volume, and I thought there. 2 speakers, I'm pretty sure it's got more output power with just running 2 than it'd be running more. There's just more current available. And so yeah, just running stereo 2. The 88, I do discuss this in another video, so feel free to go look at part 2 and part 3 afterwards. But on the prerequisite that I made them many months ago, and the aim was to sort of bring the viewer into, here's the parts, what make one up, and then ba-ding, surprise, here's a nice pair, oh sorry, here's a nice speaker that I show you in my other room, not set out nicely and not playing music. And my 662 video, which I've got on YouTube, did turn out well. I did that with the tripod and the camera, not seen here. I've decided whether I'm just going to release a couple of these little tracks here as a prequel video, or should I make up a load more load more tracks as well before I make a video to send out. Again, this is going to be episode 0 though, so supposed to be watched first. The 88, without any of the data in front of me, is a big beast. You can see this is going to come up to my, I don't know where that would be, even diaphragm, I suppose, in my chest, and I'm 5'9". I think they're 1100 tall, 500 wide, so they're quite a wide cabinet, as you can see there. Little label and single post at the bottom. I've got plans for my, so the labels taken some age has got to it. I think you can just see on the right hand side, 150 watts max. Sensitivity, they're 90 decibels, as you can see there. So actually nice and bright for the given power. And then what differs from these, from the 662 or the 66, is that you've actually got 2 driven bass speakers. And let me just pull the grill off. I'll keep on stopping trying to repeat myself, but again, yeah, I do go through this on a later video, so this might supersede some of that. Acquired taste probably, but I think beautiful. The earlier Celestion, well, go back quite a way into the early 80s or late 70s, where they didn't bother putting a front veneer on, to the ridiculous where this just looks, I mean, these, I think, the wood inside's 1985, 87, July 87. It's stamped inside. So look at that. I mean, I don't think I've even washed them with a gentle soap to get any hand marks and grease and crap off. But, you know, we get a bit closer, you'll see the veneer. If I had all the money in the world, these would be stripped and renewed again, but I just think they look gorgeous. Look at the sheen on that. Excuse my kitchen. So yeah, they are, if I get my numbers right, the tweeters out of a Celestion, I keep getting this wrong, it's not a DV10, it's not a DV. Whatever that range was called, it's out of the 10, and only this speaker and the 10 had it. I think this might be at the same range, but an 8. Again, forgive me for the range. It's a 7.5 or 7, at least 7-inch mid-range. Not to be mistaken by a 4. You might be thinking these, they're quite big pieces. That's obviously a 12, and that's a 12. They're higher ohmage than the higher resistance, even impedance, even than the ones in the 66 and so, which are more towards running just the one speaker. These are running in parallel, and volume of the cabinet is 150 litres. That's 60 litres extra on the 662, and it's double the Ditton 66, which has got 75 litres. Completely sealed cabinet, so it's got a lot of air behind it, and it's playing the volume I just played a minute ago for the video. I really hope the bass wave or the wave comes out on the recording. Excuse my rubbish wiring, I will get that sorted out over there at some point. I hope the wave comes out in the recording, because my lord. And when you look at the movement of the motor when it's producing this, it's hardly moving, hardly vibrating. So what are they capable of? So I'd like an amplifier that can do 150 watts with ease. So I bought one that can do 900 watts each channel. Obviously it's not going to go turned up high, but you want to know that you've got the capacitance, you've got the transistors, it's built to produce immense power, the amplifier that is coming. And I'll probably run it in conjunction with the other lot there, that can do the other channels. The dream was on the, yeah, okay, so what's happening in the background is that I explained earlier on, all of the motors, badges, interior, wadding, everything to make a whole new pair. I've asked the guy I know to make me a pair of cabinets. He's a very busy man, and hopefully we will see them soon, but I'm led to believe they are very, very, very good. So we're looking at a brand new pair of cabinets which are veneered, matching these absolutely completely, even to the style of glue used. The interior, some parts were veneered, some were not. So we tried to copy them exactly to make up a brand new pair, which I'll be very excited to have, because I, for one, would like to hear 4, but I'm telling you now, in a room, I don't know how long this room is, but you can see if I'm up by the patio door now, it's not a small room. I'm stood basically outside the house now looking in, and this is where their bass is just coming sweet spot, about this depth away from them. These really do need a big room to be appreciated properly. And in fact, if I go somewhat into the garden, I can still hear them very well and feel them even there. So my lord, with a bit more power, the potential. So yeah, I see a few pairs do become available, but they're hardly ever in England. I've seen some in Italy, in other countries. So bear in mind, you need to go and get them, or they need to be sent here. Then I don't know if you're charged duty now on stuff coming in. I think you are. Secondhand stuff as well. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. So you really want to get it from over here if you can, but Rocking Horse S, really. So I think people that own them, as I now do, know how good they are, and they're never going to let them go. Also, yes, as you can see, the cabinets are massive, so you've got to fit them. You've got to be lucky enough, like myself. Look, don't forget, this is like a hallway here with a wall missing, so this would have been a hauled room, would have been a lot smaller, but because I took the wall out, put a steel in, you can actually open it all up a bit. So we'll get some, obviously, is where I'm saying with this, because they're just beautiful to look at, beautiful pieces of furniture, and they do their job, as I've found out now. I've had a crack with my French components, set of components, i.e. not the full speaker. I've bought new capacitors for the crossovers. The crossovers are very, very basic. They're only oh God, 12 decibels per octave. So that is two, what word am I looking for here? Second order, 180 degrees phase shift, which makes it a bit easier to match them up with a subwoofer if you ever wanted to. I don't think that you need it whatsoever. Yeah, I think that's probably a wrap, isn't it? What else can I say about them? So hopefully the next video after this, which would be maybe part 4, is going to be the new cabinets and fitting them out and building a way to maybe... I wanted to buy amp them, but if I've bought a new amplifier now, I'm going to have to buy another one again to buy amp. I'll think about that. At the very least, they're going to be by wired, but is that a cop-out or what? I don't know. Buy amp was the plan. So anyway, I probably took up too much time chatting. Enjoy the following couple of tracks, and hopefully they will steer my videos 1 and 2 into a bit of better stead, because now you've got a bit of a preamble and preamble into what I was trying to probably explain the first set. And they're playing music, so here we are. All right, cheers, bye.